All right. I am super excited today to bring to you a very, very dear human. His name is Christopher Shaw, and I met him recently. And he conducts plant medicine retreats as well as a psychotherapist and a shamanic practitioner, as well as I am. So I wanted us to have this conversation in order to kind of bring to the forefront of my curiosity around plant medicine and what that might be, bringing to me on my personal journey and my healing and, you know, all of that I have done in terms of my own personal work. So I wanted to have Christopher on here to kind of explain to you, what plant medicine is, a little bit about his background, and kind of why people might want to consider taking this journey along with me. Because as I've talked about on this podcast before, you can either just watch me go on this journey, or you can actually come along. Like, come to my house and let's do this together. We're going to be here July 7th through 13th in my home doing this as a retreat, but we're also have like a ton of other opportunities for you. This is a very rare thing to actually be able to participate in. You can't just sign up, at your local community center and do this, or local church. You have to have a very specific facilitator for this. So, Christopher, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm just thrilled about the work that you're doing, and I'm so excited about you to share it with, my viewers. So, give me a little bit of background on you and why people might want to consider plant medicine.
All right. Hey, Dale. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be able to talk to all of you beautiful humans today and tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about how I serve the kingdom. And, just a little bit about me. I currently live in Austin, Texas and Bucerias, Mexico. I'm living back and forth right now. Eventually transitioning down to Mexico. That's where we have our retreat center. Our home base is in Bucerias, which is Puerto Vallarta. For 17 years, I've been a psychotherapist and a sacred space holder, helping primarily humans with addictions, sexual disorders, anxiety, depression, and trauma. I have studied with a shaman for 2 years, and I learned a lot of beautiful shamanic techniques that I now use in my practice. I've also been studying plant medicine for about a year now. I have a wonderful mentor who has been a plant medicine man his entire life. He was the kind of boy that would go out into the jungle in Mexico and just the plants would just talk to him and they would tell him like, take me for digestion and take me for soothing and take so he's brilliant and he's taken me under his wing and he's taught me so much and I've been given the green light to be a plant medicine man and to facilitate these beautiful plant medicine retreats. So it's an honor to be serving the kingdom in this way. I'm so grateful because I all of these years being a psychotherapist, I knew that practicing psychotherapy was it's different, right? It's like we peel back the layers of the onion, essentially, is what we do. In my personal life, I'm an addict in recovery, and I come from a childhood with lots of trauma. So I have a lot of trauma. I have a lot of addiction. I feel like I lived a million lives in this life, and so and I, recently, or probably about a year ago, I ended my 5 year midlife crisis. So I am a midlife crisis survivor, and we'll save that for another podcast. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We'll save that for another podcast. But one of the things that I tell my clients today, now that I know what I know, because it was about 2.5 years ago, I started having clients come into my practice and telling me that they were going to go do a mushroom ceremony or they were going to go work with this medicine or ayahuasca. And I being an addictions therapist and being at that time a member of a 12-step program, you know, I had some basic knowledge about the plant medicines, and I knew the research on plant medicines, but I hadn't yet had my personal experience with the plant medicines. And so I began studying the plant medicines and studying how to help my clients prepare and integrate for their ceremonies. And then there came a time in my life where I ended a 2.5 year relationship. I called off a marriage, and I was like, you know what? I have had it with this 5-year midlife crisis, and I needed to do something different, than psychotherapy, than 12 steps, than everything that I was doing. And I had a friend who attended a plant medicine retreat in Mexico. And this was a friend who was a chronic relapser who would get three months sober and then relapse, 2 months sober and relapse. He was on all kinds of medications. And he had just celebrated a year clean, and he wasn't on any medications. He never had to go back on any medications. And so this retreat that he went on healed him. And so I called him up and I said, "Hey, can you refer me to your guy?" And he's like, "Yes." And I was like, "Great." So he referred me to his plant medicine man. And 3 months later, I was at my first plant medicine retreat that absolutely changed my life. The plant medicine it doesn't work with the layers of the onion. Okay, so we don't look at the layers of your onion. We go right for the core, and you go home with no onion. Yeah. And so this is a different kind of work. This is an intense, beautiful 10 years of therapy in 6 days.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at a time right now, Dale, and we don't have 10 years to sort through the layers of the onion anymore. The world needs us to be happy and healed,
Right.
so that we can help raise the vibration of our beautiful planet and bring humankind into the next level,
Right.
right?
I honestly believe that this is the thing that cures all else, the evolution of consciousness within mankind, the evolution of consciousness to exist as a people beyond the confines of the ego, beyond the yelling and the screaming and seeing things as right and wrong and good and bad, but to evolve and step into the oneness and the unity that we are all celebrating one another and then we are all good and we are all loving. And those who are outside of the loving bubble should be seen as an aberration and be seen as just needing help. They're not bad. They just haven't been shown enough examples of how to get there, how to abandon fear and pain.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and as we move into our authentic selves, we're able to have compassion for
Yes.
them, and compassion for the world, and to take the condor state and rise above and kind of see the bigger picture. And we need to be clean and clear to do that,
Right.
right? And so many of us are carrying so much baggage, not only from this life, but from past lives, if you believe in that.
Sure.
We're also carrying the baggage of our ancestors in
Sure.
our DNA. We do know that trauma does get passed down now in our DNA.
Mhm.
And the beautiful thing about the plant medicine is it erases all of that programming.
Mhm.
It lets it all go. It heals it without even us having to talk about it. In talk therapy, we might meet for a year or two before you get into some of your deepest, darkest traumas.
Right.
And then it's traumatic because traditionally
Reliving
you
it.
have to talk about them and
Yeah.
relive. With the plant medicine, you don't have to talk about anything.
Mhm.
It just leaves your body.
Mhm.
And the medicine has been around for a very, 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 very long time.
Mhm.
Fungi, mushrooms, are one of the oldest organisms on the planet.
Mhm.
So imagine the wisdom that they carry.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've realized is the medicine, the plant medicine, is the wisdom.
Right. Right.
It's the wisdom that's
And
in
I
there.
watched this show once that said that all life on Earth split into two kind of different paths. One was fungi or mycelium, and then the other one was animals. And so if you look at all of, because animals are easier to see, like, and understand the diversity found in there. But on this other hand, we have this thing that you can't see that kind of lives under the ground. That's this network of information that all the plants and, mushrooms are tapping into. Like, we're just beginning to even understand how plants can be conscious.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a whole world. I remember the first time that I had my bufo ceremony, my first bufo ceremony. Bufo is a toad that comes from the Sonora Desert, and it secretes a poison that, when smoked, turns into 5-MeO DMT. Now, DMT is what we call the spirit molecule. It's released when we die. And plants also produce DMT. There are a number of plants that naturally produce DMT. And we can also learn to train our bodies to release its own DMT through things like Kundalini yoga, holotropic breath work.
Sure.
But Bufo is the fast track to catapulting yourself into another dimension of time and space and becoming one with everything.
Wow.
Remember during my first Bufo ceremony, my plant medicine man, Bufo, it's a film that's dried and then it's put into a little vial that's traditionally smoked out of a frog pipe. Go figure. Vaporized. And so, he held the pipe to my mouth and he was like, inhale, but just a little bit. So I inhaled just a little bit. He's like, look around. And I remember looking around at the trees and I could just tune into them. I could see faces on them. I could see that they were these reverent beings that are just here, like connected to everything
Right.
and each other and holding the sacred space for us. And I remember looking down at it must have been like a square inch of grass, right? And I looked down at the grass and I could see everything. I could see every atom, every molecule, every life. I mean, there was a universe in a square inch of grass. Grass that, as humans, well, we walk on and don't even think twice about. In a square inch, there's a whole universe in there. And it was just like, whoa,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And that was just the beginning of my Bufo experience. But yes.
Yeah. So I had an experience that I've actually never told you about that was kind of similar, but it was a dream state and it shifted the entire perspective and trajectory of my life. Just having that one dream state experience because it was so real. And what it was is that I was in a dream, I was asleep, and I died in my dream. And as I was dying, I was waking up. And so I was becoming more conscious to like the reality that what we call reality. But at the same time, I was still in this dream state experiencing my death. And when I was leaving my body, I was starting to connect with everything. So I wasn't just seeing the tree in the distance. I was feeling it. I was knowing it. I was a part of it. There was no, separation between me and its understanding of its essence, its being. Like I have no other way to explain it. And that came to me, like I said, in a dream state. And I remember I'd woken up and I was having this sense of there was just a resonance in my body I'd never experienced before. And it was a oneness, it was a wholeness, it was a connected to all things that, as I was waking up more and more, it was slowly dissipating. But I'll never forget. And just having a glimpse, just the tiniest glimpse in this dream state of that oneness changed everything else. And it's where, a lot of my spirituality began as an adult, because it happened when I just moved to Montreal. So I was probably 19, 20.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful. That's so beautiful. I mean, that's very similar to what one can experience with certain plant medicines.
Mm.
That oneness with all things.
Yeah.
And once you experience oneness, not just experience it, right, but become it. It's like you are becoming consciousness. You are becoming God, as some people say. You are becoming the tree.
Yeah.
It's like you see the grass and then you become the grass. Right? It's a very kind of different, beautiful experience. And these medicines, they've been used for centuries. I was reading an interesting book last night about the history of fungi and the civilizations that used it long time ago. And it was just a beautiful book about the history of fungi being used medicinally. And mushroom, and there's so many different types of mushrooms, and they can be used to cure all kinds of ailments in our body, not just our body, mind, and I mean, our having that spiritual connection, but I mean, they're fungi that are not psychedelic in nature.
Sure.
So, these plant medicines in the United States, we as a society, we're using plant medicines to heal our bodies before big pharma came along. And
Right.
there was a president and an administration way back in the day. I always forget which one,
It was in the
but
70s sometimes when they outlawed all the plant medicines and psychedelics.
right, right. And then, and then all of a sudden we started having pills and medicines and chemicals and things that were formulated in the lab. And thank God for Western medicine. I mean, thank God for big pharma. I mean, big pharma saves a lot of people's lives and it has saved a lot of lives. And that, every type of medicine has a purpose, right? But we threw out the wisdom of the plant medicines instead of saying let's
Yeah.
just be one big happy family. It was kind of like, oh no, those no, we're going to move in this direction.
Yeah, it was really counter to the hippie culture that where they were trying to, classify these now, which is insane to me that you're going to take a plant, a natural growing plant, and make it illegal, make God illegal.
Exactly, right. And then of course all of that, that happened in the 70s with, the experiments with LSD and mushrooms and MDMA, and there was a lot of great things that were happening, and then it got all that kind of stuff got shut down. And recently, I would say over the last 20 years, it's resurfaced, and there's a lot of research that's happening right now, a lot of
Yeah,
research.
yeah, and thank God for that.
It's beautiful. I'm grateful for the scientific research because, as shaman, we know, as shamanic practitioners, shall I say, we know,
Hmm.
and we've had our own experience. We know that these medicines are healing people
Right.
at every level,
Yes.
right? But, some people need the science. And so now we have the
Now we
science.
have the science. I mean, there's so many reports of, and ibogaine is another one that where people, so they're using ibogaine in two different ways to heal addiction in the same manner that you are with other things, but also they're using it in the military and they're using it to like supercharge the brains of the, top military leaders and everything else. And it's so interesting to me that there's this other side of it of people who are so committed to either real estate, military, whatever it is. Like I learned a lot of the basics of energy work in my real estate coaching because they were so determined to manifest sales that they were literally willing to do anything, even go down this spiritual path. And that was so shocking to me.
Yeah, ibogaine is another plant medicine that's really beautiful. It has a lot of traction in the military communities because there are a few predominant treatment centers in Mexico that treat primarily veterans. And
Right.
I think there's been some big
Oh, that's the connection. Got
veterans
it.
that have gone down that now have big organizations that
Yeah.
are promoting those organizations. But the same healing that happens with ibogaine happens also with psilocybin, happens also with bufo and combo. So there's, it's not like there's just one way or the highway. There's lots of different paths.
Sure.
Typically with the medicines, the medicines call us, right? It's like ayahuasca will call you and maybe you'll have a dream or you'll hear it or someone will tell you about it. And you're like, oh, that sounds like something I would like to do. Or you're
Mhm.
like, yeah, I don't know if that, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's like they typically call us, right? And we actually work with a lot of veterans and first responders at Merkaba retreats as well.
Mm.
Because they, with all of the trauma that they've been through and that they see on the daily basis or they've been through in their careers, they're so broken or they feel so broken, and they come and do a 6-day retreat and then they go back healed,
Yeah.
totally healed,
Yeah.
totally healed.
Right.
Like the trauma, it just goes.
Yeah.
Right. Like one of the medicines we use is called combo. Combo is not a psychedelic. It is a little green, cute green tree frog from the Amazon.
Mhm.
And it secretes a serum that's made up of 9 peptides. And what happens is that we apply this serum to the body in little points that correspond to the meridians. For those of you that have done acupuncture, the combo works on the meridians. And the combo is intuitive. So it knows where to go in the body to heal. And what's interesting about the combo is it's a purgative. So it can often make you purge upward or downward. So either you throw up or you can poop. Uh, During a combo ceremony, it
Good
can be
times.
or, like me, I tend to purge every direction during some of my combo ceremonies. But no, thank God for being in a safe, sacred place where you can just
Sure.
all go. Because it's amazing when you can like throw up and poop at the outside in the middle of this beautiful garden
Wow.
and not give a shit.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like not like
Not
literally
care. Yeah.
letting it all go.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about combo is, not only is it giving you a full body detox, right? Because it's going inside your body, it's curing what needs to be cured, but the purging also purges emotional trauma, anything that's stored in the body. And we know that
Mhm.
trauma is stored in our body, it's stored cellularly, it's stored in our muscles.
Right.
It's what causes disease,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so when you purge you're purging, like you're purging everything, right? And it's like after I do a combo, and I love combo it's a beautiful treatment, right? And after a combo ceremony, and sometimes after you've done combo a little while, you don't necessarily purge all the time anymore. Like you can apply combo what's called dry,
Mhm.
and where you don't drink the water, because typically with the combo you don't eat the days that we do combo, just FYI, and you don't eat dinner the night before, so there's no food in your belly. We have you drink about 1.5 liters, 2 liters of water 10 minutes before we apply the combo, and you're pretty much like, get this water out of me, I'm so bloated, I just want to get it out of me anyway. And so after 30 seconds with the combo, it just comes up,
Yeah.
you know and it just comes out, and it's just water. And so
Right.
it's, for because there are people that are like, oh, I don't want to purge. And well, nobody wants to purge food. That's just gross and disgusting. But that doesn't happen with, during a combo ceremony. But after the combo ceremony, I feel like Superman.
Yeah.
I literally feel invincible. When
Mhm.
I came back from my first plant medicine retreat, my friends and family said, I don't know what happened to you, but you look like 10 years younger.
Right.
Like, because the trauma had left my face, it had
Right.
left
Well, that was the biggest
muscles.
surprise for me around energy work is once you start looking younger when you start applying like these lessons. And I just gotta say, like you were saying, people feel called. I'm my brother. If anybody knows my story and like the trauma that I've been through and like the stuff that I've lived through, everything from, horrible parents to finding a friend murdered in my house to, like I just have a lot of stuff, right? And it's manifested as anger for a really long time. And it wasn't until I started studying energy work that I started to actually be able to start to peel back the onion. But honey, I am ready to get rid of that onion. I just want that PTSD gone. I don't want to be as reactionary. I don't want to be as emotional. I don't want to be, like all these things that are just like hanging on from old stuff. And while I do my best to bless myself every day, keep myself into, high vibration only, there are times where I can feel the fringes of that still are holding on and holding me back. And as soon as we started talking, I was like, oh, this feels to me like a calling.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for you to experience your first retreat. Well, I'm tuned in like you, so I've already seen it. But yes, it's going to be absolutely incredible and very powerful.
Yeah,
And all of that stuff that you want to let go of is just going to go. It
yeah,
just because
I'm
it doesn't,
ready.
it's
It's
no longer
time.
serving you, right? And it's not like you haven't done anything. I mean, you've been working on yourself for your whole life, and so have I, right? It's like, I think I was 16 years into my recovery. Now, I've had a few relapses along the way, but I was 16 years into my recovery when I attended my first plant medicine retreat. And I mean, that's a lot of peel. That's a lot of fucking layers. You know what I mean? That I've looked at over the years, and I've done everything from therapy to acupuncture to shamanic war. I mean, I've just done it all.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
try to get rid of this stuff. But 16 years in to my spiritual growth enlightenment journey, and I'm and I was and I really didn't think that I had a lot of Thanksgivings left.
oh,
I knew I was in the second half of life.
yeah,
And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm probably going to end up alone
mm,
with not a lot of Thanksgivings left.
mm,
Maybe I'll die in my 60s. I
mm,
don't know. But I just, I wasn't very hopeful.
right,
I, um, I was kind of stuck,
Hmm.
in my life. I knew that I wanted to do and create things, but I didn't know what those were. I was just stuck, right? I was at a plateau, and like all of the approaches that I have used previously, they led me to the retreat, which then just cleared everything on so many levels that I came out of that with such clarity and such freedom. I knew exactly who I was.
Yeah.
I knew exactly where I've been. I knew exactly why I was here on Earth at this time. And I knew what was next.
Yeah.
And I knew the steps that I needed to take to get there.
Yeah.
Right. And here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are in
Yeah.
this new life for me. And this is available to all of us, right? This is
Yeah.
available to all of us. And I'm so grateful that you are trusting me to guide you through this experience.
Mhm.
And I think it will be so beautiful for you to be able to let go of all of these things that you want to let go of,
Mhm.
so that we can serve the kingdom together,
Yes.
right? And be on the lookout, fans, for us to co-facilitate some retreats down the road, because it's gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I really want this to be part of my life moving forward. I really feel called to do this, and it's just kind of the next natural step for me in, the work I've been doing studying shamanism and as a shamanic practitioner and healing others. Like I feel like I need to get to my next level in order to kind of bring the people that I coach and see along.
Exactly. Yeah, because what I was always told is like you can't take someone further than you've been,
Right.
and it's like, okay, absolutely. I get that. And there's a lot of sick therapists out there, and sick practitioners aren't there out there that are not doing their own work.
Right.
And they can only take people as far as they can take them. And that's why you'll all see clients that come in to me after seeing one of these practitioners, and they're like, oh my God, I saw this person for years and I'm just stuck. And I'm like, that probably isn't about you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like they were stuck. And so they could not take you past where they've been themselves.
Right.
And so, yes, it's so important for those of us who are practitioners, and serving the kingdom in this particular way, for us to do our own work.
Mhm.
The cleaner and clearer, that's kind of like the words we use. I don't know if I really like those words, but the cleaner and clearer that we can get our body, minds, and spirits, then the more open and receptive we are to
Mhm.
be the channel, to be the vessel of healing for the world and for these humans that are coming to us for healing, right? And so then we don't like our stuff doesn't get in the way. Like
Oh,
we are literally just like this beautiful channel, right? That's
yeah.
that's able to
And
kind of,
facilitator.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. Tell me about the retreat dates that are coming up in 2025, and if they speak specifically to a certain group of people or who might want to consider attending any of I know you have several going on everywhere from Mexico to my house to Italy. It seems like you are everywhere. It's fabulous.
It's kind of exciting, we're available to do custom retreats all around the world.
Oh, so
Um,
you'll go to somebody's house, just you'll actually do a private retreat at somebody's house if they want to host it there.
yes, we
Okay.
would do that. Yes, we would do that. Now, let's say that somebody, well, for the most part, yes. For the most part, yes. Um, let's say somebody calls us and wants to do, maybe they're a VIP and they don't like to travel, and they want to stay in their home, and in the city, and they want us to come to their home in the city and do a retreat. I probably wouldn't recommend that, because they're in their home
Oh,
and they
yeah.
would be distracted by life in their home.
Mhm.
So it would be different if they lived maybe out in the country, or they had a ranch, or they had some kind of country home, or we even go to if we find an Airbnb in Colorado in the mountains, or Palm Springs in the mountains, or wherever,
Yeah.
and find a place that they can totally
Yeah.
detach from the world.
But it's
because
really important to
yeah,
note that you are available to do things outside of your planned retreats. And so if they have any questions about getting a group of their friends together to experience it, like I know the one that we're doing here at my home, my sister's coming, my niece is coming, my husband is going to be here, and we're all going to, hold hands and throw up in the backyard together.
yeah. No, yeah, you'll do that, right? And then you'll all become one
Yeah.
together, and
Yeah.
then you'll get to have the greater understanding with the psilocybin ceremony of who you are and who you've been in this life on Earth and wherever else you were before Earth.
Yeah.
So it's just yeah. So what a beautiful experience to have with those people that are closest to you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I highly recommend that. I really do. I think what a beautiful experience. And yes, you have a close group of friends
Yeah.
that you would like to experience this with. I will travel, and my co-facilitator Keegan will travel. Like if it's four or more, we do the retreats together.
Mhm.
If it's four or less, I do them with myself. And as far as traveling retreats go, or like for example, with my mentor Richie, we are co-facilitating retreat in Milan,
Mhm.
and then we're kicking off his new adventure called Sacred Adventures.
Ah.
September, we're going to be kicking off that, and that's doing plant medicine retreats in the most sacred spots around the world, like India, the pyramids, Jerusalem, Machu Picchu, and places like that. So
Wow.
that's going to be incredible because to be able to do your healing work in one of those places, whoa, and the power. Oh, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like
Sure.
wow, those are
Sure.
powerful things. But yeah, Mexico is our home base and it's really beautiful there. It's so peaceful and beautiful. And if you can get away and get down there, I would highly recommend it because
Yeah.
it's good to be able to get away from your life. It's good to be able to turn your phone off. It's good, we ask our participants to, leave your phone at the Airbnb, because we put you up in a beautiful Airbnb on the beach. And then we go to a beautiful healing center that's about 7 minutes away from the beach, and that's where we have Richie's Temple of Truth. And so it's just a beautiful, land. I think it's at 2 acres. There's a beautiful temple there. There's an outdoor kitchen, beautiful yard. There's hammocks, and there's a yoga room and a meditation room, and there's an outdoor shower. I mean, it's just a beautiful sanctuary
Yeah.
for healing.
Yeah.
And we do, all of our ceremonies there.
Mhm.
And so most of the retreats do happen there. When you come there, like I said, we put you up in luxury accommodation. We go to the healing center for the morning. Then you have a break where you have free time to go to the beach. Then we all come back for a big dinner, which is like kind of our dinner lunch at 3 p.m.
Yep.
And we do sunset bufo ceremonies most of the days. Fridays is a little bit different because on Fridays we do sweat lodge, and then we do our psilocybin ceremony at sunset that night, which is really exciting. And
Yeah.
we do these beautiful ceremonies where we offer ourselves to the ocean, and we clear our sexual energy, which is really beautiful. And there's in Bucerias we have the ability to do colon hydrotherapy or colonics,
Mhm.
which is awesome because you're going to get clean from every direction. So yes, it'll be great. And we have that. There's Reiki massage. We do the sound healing with the gongs and the sound bowls and
Yeah.
holotropic breath work. So there's we can't take the colonics and the stuff with us on our custom retreats, but we do bring as much as we can to be able to offer that. Like at your house, like Keegan, my brother Keegan, who facilitates the retreats with me, some of the retreats with me, and who will be facilitating your retreat. He lives in Orange County, so he is so excited. I was talking to him the other day about your retreat, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I have all this new equipment, and it's like we're gonna have like this. I mean, it's gonna be huge, like sound healing, like
Wow.
celebration of music and
Yeah.
dance, love, and it's gonna be like epic."
Yeah.
You're
Well,
yeah.
I'm
Because
really
we get
hoping like even
travel
some,
with the fun.
yeah, some of my Celine Dion friends from that cast and crew can come and join us, and it's just going to be a big celebration here at my house. And anybody who's watching, come join me at my house. Like this is going to be amazing.
Yeah, come join us. It's absolutely gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely gonna be
You want
amazing.
to talk quickly about the dates you have on the calendar and where
Yeah.
they are if people are like maybe just wanting to check in and see if they can do that?
Yeah, let me just pull them up. So I know that it's a little last minute, but we are having a retreat in Bucerias in Mexico.
Oh,
And that one is in April. We
yeah.
do still have some openings for that retreat. Let me pull up the dates here. I just want to make sure because I get them confused if I try to remember them. So yes, this retreat is April 7th through the 13th.
Right.
We're currently offering $1,000 off
Oh,
on this retreat. All of
nice.
our retreats are all inclusive.
Mhm.
Typically in Mexico, they run at $5,555. That pays for everything. It's pretty amazing. I mean,
Housing.
$1,000 a day,
Yeah.
for like luxury accommodation, your meals, your transportation, your beautiful sacred medicine ceremonies, expert facilitation. We have preparation sessions. So we do preparation sessions with you or your group
Yeah.
before we even go. So you will all know everyone that you're going to be in this retreat with before you even go to it. And then we also help you integrate because that's a huge piece. It's like we don't just throw you back to the wolves because it's scary going back to the world after a retreat like this because you're going to be like, whoa, and the world is not. And so we help with that, right? So we do integration groups and integration sessions. And so that's going to be really helpful. Our next retreat is going to be in May in Mexico, May 12th through the 18th. That's the one that you'll be coming on.
And it's on my birthday.
That's on your birthday. Yeah. So if you want to join Dale on his birthday,
I'll be turning 55. Let's go do this. Let's bring in the new
yeah,
year.
this will be really special. So if you're interested in that, let us know. We can
May
get that
12th
all
through
worked out.
18th. Okay.
We're doing Milan, Italy, May 26th through June 1st. If you're interested in going to and having a little Italian vacation, and what a beautiful time too. That's before it gets too hot, so it's perfect time to be there. And then we have a women's retreat, which will be June 9th through the 15th. I have three female assistants that will be helping with that retreat. I will be the lead facilitator, but they will be helping me in every step of the way for that retreat. So that's going to be awesome. And then June 23rd through 29th, Keegan and I will be facilitating that in Mexico. Um, in the middle of July, July 14th through 20th, Keegan, me, and Richie will be facilitating a retreat in Mexico with a grandfather elder coming in from the jungle to lead us in a very special plant medicine ceremony.
Wow.
So that will be kind of extra special. At the end of July, July 26th through August 1st, I just finalized this with Richie today, but that retreat is going to be reserved for veterans and first
Mm,
responders.
wow.
And that retreat, we're not going to do at our regular healing center. We're going to do that retreat somewhere more remote, where we could yell and scream and just get crazy and no one will hear us. So, yeah, that's going to be really wonderful for veterans and first responders. And then on our website, merkabaretreats.com, you can just click dates and locations, and you can see a list of all of the upcoming dates and
Okay.
locations.
But people got to be mindful that they're not limited to just those dates. If you have a special request, that you do have the ability to work around other people and their schedules and make sure that you can still facilitate this where people,
Yep,
yeah, that's awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, that's what's so cool, right? Is
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, their custom retreats. Like, I did have a guy that was like, "Oh, can you?" He said, "Can you come in 2 weeks and do 3 days?" And I was like, "No, I'm not available. I mean, we got to kind of book it a bit of time out, and we can customize it to a certain level. But as far as the medicine and the healing goes, it's a tried and true plan." That my plant medicine man mentor has been using for well over 10 years.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful protocol.
Right.
And so how we have built the week is very special. And it really does need to be 6 days I would say
Yeah.
at the least. So
Yeah.
plan on taking like a week out if you're going to do one of these retreats.
Mhm.
And if you can, like I would not recommend going back into your regular job the day after your retreat. Like ease back into the world. If you come down to Mexico and do one of our retreats, maybe after my retreat, I stayed for 4 days and kind of integrated back into society, and that was really helpful. So if you can do that, I would highly recommend that. Past participants of the retreats that have gone right back to work the next day said it was very hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's good
you
to
want to
know.
give yourself some grace and some time to integrate because when you clear that much stuff
Yeah.
so quickly, you're gonna you're and what the combo does is it resets your body to a place of Well, your immune system is going to be like that of a baby, and
Mhm.
so you go back into the world, and you kind of have to be careful. You have to be careful what you eat. You have to be careful where you go. You just have to be careful while you're rebuilding your body,
Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Wow, that's amazing. So merkabaretreats.com is the website.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That's it.
okay. And they can get all
Uh,
the information there as well as contact you. Or you're also where on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
everywhere. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. You can all of those links, by the way, are on my About Christopher page on merkabaretreats.com. So you can connect to my personal Facebook, my personal Instagram, my personal YouTube. I just uploaded a Kundalini yoga class because my alumni have been requesting it. They're like, "We miss you. We can't remember everything that we did while we were at the
Right.
retreat. Can you please post a class?" And I was like, "Yes, I'll get it. I promise I will." And it just has taken me a few months to do that. And I just decided the other day to film my morning practice because I do get up every morning at 4 in the morning and do about a 2.5 hour spiritual practice, of which 75 minutes of that is Kundalini yoga with mantra.
Mhm.
And so I just filmed my, what I, just a typical day in the life of Christopher Shaw. I just filmed my yoga class
Mhm.
yesterday and I posted that to my YouTube. So that's free. If you want to try out Kundalini yoga and see what that's all about,
Yeah.
you can see me around my fire pit in some cute little white shorts, shirt. Like that's just how I roll. Sometimes I'm out there in the nude or doing it in my little undies.
Sure.
Like that's just why not?
I love it.
So, and then in April, I'll be filming a whole series of Kundalini yoga classes on the beach in Mexico, and that will be really cool. So stay
Yeah.
tuned for all of that too.
Yeah, good. Really excellent. Well, this has been excellent. I'm really excited to get some of this information out there. We're going to do this again because I have so much more that I want to hear about and learn about in terms of like what is Merkaba? Why is it called Merkaba? Because I know that there's, real stories there that I'm sure people are going to want to know about as well. Plus, you and I have other things that are going on that I know that we want to talk about. And so,
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Dale and I could talk. Well, we do talk for hours, but
Yeah.
we can talk to you for hours too. But we know you probably don't have time for that today. So we will be back for sure.
Yes, yes. So we'll do another episode of this and kind of pick this up. But thank you so much for this. This was really insightful, enlightening, and I really hope that the people, take it upon themselves to be an active participant in their own healing. I'm so excited about being on this journey with you, and I can't thank you enough for just coming into my life and being a friend and being a source of love and hope and inspiration in otherwise what sometimes feels like a little bit of dark times.
Yeah. I think that we are brought together by forces greater than us,
Hmm.
are us.
Yes.
That's for another podcast.
There we
But
go.
it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And I love you so very much. And I
Oh, me
thank you so
too. I
much
love you
for
too.
having me here and for talking with me today. And I look forward to our future episodes.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Okay, bye bye.